South African newspaper praises Johnny for saving DV victims.
Me and you.
Why did you try?
And that's the difference that the whole world and the jury and the judge will see, is that there is a very big difference between me and you. And all of the people that have come out and lied on your behalf, that I can prove have lied, whether it's via text messages that can be authenticated by third-party forensic, electronic forensics experts, or if it's audio, if it's photos. There's so much evidence. It blows. There is no reason. There is no reason that all this had to come out. But every step of the way, I mean, here, I didn't say anything about security not doing their job or doing their job, and they came out with it. That was a proactive. You not understand that. There's a proactive step. I had to respond.
You cannot automatically.
Johnny keeps winning as a South African newspaper has showered praises on him for saving DV victims. Keep watching to know more. News about Depp's victory has refused to leave the limelight as more media outlets have shown praises on the Pirates of the Caribbean star. A South African newspaper called Star has published an article that projects how much Depp has saved DV victims just by telling the world his version of the truth. The news also added that men who say they have experienced domestic violence pinpointed a defining moment in the trial that, for them, felt pivotal in changing what it means to be a male survivor. Earlier this month, a recording was played in the courtroom. In it, Heard says, "Tell people it was a fair fight and see what the jury and judge think. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them, I, Johnny Depp, I'm a victim, too, of domestic violence, and it was a fair fight, and see if people believe or side with you."
People that it was a fair fight, and see what the jury and judge think. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them, Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence, and
yes.
It's a fair fight. And see how many people believe or side with you.
And what did you say in response when Miss Heard said, "Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them, Johnny Depp, I, Johnny Depp, a man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence"?
I said yes. I am.
Depp was asked on the stand how he responded when Heard told him to tell the world that he was a domestic violence survivor. He told the courtroom, "Yes, I am." For some of the men watching who had endured violence from a partner, the frenzied response to the trial has felt personal. "When I initially heard, I was a little shocked. I was like, wow, who would have thought this could happen to Johnny Depp?" recalled Tony Enos, a Philadelphia pop singer who said he survived domestic violence. Enos, who also works as a counselor to other men who have survived domestic violence, said seeing a man who is perceived to be as powerful, wealthy, and famous as Depp claimed that he endured domestic violence has made him feel less alone because honestly Amber has been exposed for making Depp go through hell.
Automatically, you cannot think that it's just my side. You're killing me. You're people are trying to kill me. You've turned me into a. My boy has to go to school. My boy goes to school and has kids go. So your dad's a wife beater? You don't think about that, Amber.
You don't think us also my family and all the death threats that me and every single person in my immediate circle of friends and family is getting also matters? And you don't think I
death threats?
You people put this out. You didn't want this out. Why security come on the record and lie? Why go grab a proactive measure?
The awareness is everything, Enos said. Men can be survivors of an interpersonal violence, too. NBC News does not normally identify victims of domestic violence, but Enos gave his permission to use his full name. Male victims are still not an accepted thing. 1 in 3 women has experienced some form of violence from a partner compared to 1 in 4 men, according to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, or NCADV. The breadth between those numbers grows to 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men when it comes to severe violence, such as burning, beating, or strangulation by an intimate partner, according to the NCADV. 1 out of 2 women who are murdered or killed by their intimate partners, according to the NCADV, and 1 in 13 men are killed by their partners. In addition, an information sheet from the NCADV acknowledged that, anecdotally, the organization knew of women being the primary aggressor toward men but did not have data that quantify how often women were identified as the primary abuser in the relationship. The case playing out in a court in Virginia becomes increasingly complex with each witness a new piece of evidence. And yet, in the eyes of public opinion, Depp's popularity appears to be surging. From a Saturday Night Live parody of the case to a TikTok video posted by former NSYNC member Lance based to the TikTok hashtag Justice for Johnny Depp surging to more than 15 billion views, Depp appears to be the trial's de facto victor. In opus eds, like the New York Times Amber Heard and the death of #MeToo and the Guardian's #MeToo is over if we don't listen to imperfect victims like Amber Heard, some question whether the public's treatment of Heard marks a turning point or even the end of the movement, warning that other powerful figures could seek to emulate Depp's comeback with litigation situation. Experts have expressed concern that the level of vitriol directed at Heard, who has said throughout the trial that Depp abused her, could push some survivors deeper into hiding, despite the outdated stereotypes online about what a real victim should look like, which some experts say could cause a chilling effect among survivors. Some men and male-presenting people who have survived violent relationships and experts who work with survivors say the trial feels like a turning point in the stigma against male survivors. Mimi Sterling, the CEO of the Family Place, a Dallas-based resource center and shelter for survivors of family violence, said some social work training outlines the belief that men can't experience domestic violence like women based on the power dynamic. It's just not an accepted thing in our society that men can be victimized in this way, Sterling said. For Jack, seeing a powerful man publicly state that he had endured domestic violence lifted a weight off his shoulders. Jack, a survivor of DV who asked that NBC News refer to him by his middle name to protect his privacy, said he endured domestic violence and sexual abuse in addition to childhood abuse. He said he kept quiet for many years because he was embarrassed. Additionally, Raven Jennerson, the interim clinical director for the Rape, Abuse and Incest National Network, or REINN, and a licensed independent clinical social worker, said all people, including victims, must work to relearn what it means to be masculine and how a masculine person should behave when confronted with a domestic violence situation. Stereotypes about how men should act and how they should cope with violent partners, especially in heterosexual relationships, are inaccurate and lead more victims to stay silent. Experts said, "We want folks to know that there's no such thing as a perfect survivor. Perfection is relative," Jennerson said. Without doubt, on social media, men who say they have experienced DV say Depp has opened the door for men and male-presenting survivors to share their stories. For some survivors, the seemingly relentless online support for Depp and the litany of disdain for Heard has felt like vindication and justice from afar, a proxy victory over their own abusers. Searching the terms "I'm a survivor" and Johnny Depp on Twitter displays what appear to be thousands of tweets of victims describing how empowered they felt by Depp's case. And while the case is a defamation action in a civil court and no one faces a criminal conviction or jail time, the support is enough for some. "I would never fight back, because I would never want to be in Mr. Depp's position," Jack said, expressing fear that if he ever retaliated, his former partner could claim that he was the aggressor. "Now that he's come forward, it has given me and others allowance to say I've been abused by a domestic partner, too," normalizing the conversation and raising awareness. Some experts argue that hearing a man say, in a public venue during a high-profile trial, that he is a victim of domestic abuse could have long-lasting benefits. Often it takes high-profile cases, high-profile victims of anything, to gain the change in our society and the change in perspective that is critical, Sterling said. Apparently, Depp's victory has made a huge impact in the world of DV survivors, and let's hope both men and women who are real survivors get to speak up and stand for their truth. Let's see what fans think. One fan wrote, "The fact that it's giving men courage to come forward now to call out their abusers. It's amazing it's such good news. Hopefully more men can come forward about this. #abuse has no gender." Another fan wrote, "Our fathers, brothers, sons, etc. deserve equal chance of liability and equal consideration as us women in family court matters. #equality for all." There you have it. JD has once again won the hearts of many. Remember that our information is as we proceed the Depp versus Heard legal drama. So keep an open mind as you watch our other videos. Bye.